The creature in the pit had no name anymore. Names were for beings with futures, and the Cathari Council had stripped hers away the moment they declared her Zakoth, the cursed one. She was massive, even by Cathari standards. 12 feet of corded muscle and midnight blue scales that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns when she moved. 4 arms, each ending in claws that could shred durasteel. A crown of horns that curved back from her skull like a terrible halo. The species that had once revered her kind as warrior priests now spat at the mention of her designation. Specimen 47, the failed guardian. The pit was 50 feet deep, carved into the volcanic rock of Terminus Station, a place where the Galactic Council sent things they wanted forgotten. She had been here for 2 standard cycles, fed just enough to keep her alive, a warning to others who might question the Council's wisdom. Today, the viewing platform above was crowded. Citizens of the Galactic Assembly, the magistrate's voice boomed through the translation field. We gather to witness justice for the murder of Ambassador Thexel of the Vryn Collective. The creature, she had once been called Cryeth, but that life was dead, didn't look up. She knew what was coming, another prisoner, thrown into the pit for her to kill to reinforce the narrative that she was nothing but a mindless beast. They had tried 3 times before. Each time she had refused. Each time they had simply shot the prisoner themselves and blamed her anyway. The crowd parted, and Cryeth's secondary eyes finally tracked the movement above. They were dragging something small, too small. The human colony of New Terry has failed to pay its protection tithe for the 4th consecutive quarter, the magistrate continued. As per Section 47 of the Subjugation Accords, a tribute must be paid. Since they possess no valuable resources, they have offered this. They threw the child into the pit. She couldn't have been more than 7 solar cycles old. Blonde hair tangled with dirt, wearing a too large jumpsuit with New Terra Orphanage stenciled on the back. She hit the ground hard, rolled, and came up crying. Not the hysterical screaming Cryeth had heard from other victims, but the quiet, hopeless sobbing of someone who had already lost everything. The crowd above murmured with satisfaction. Humans were new to the galactic stage, their planet recently integrated into the Council's protection. They had no advocate, no voice. Perfect scapegoats, let the beast's nature be demonstrated, the magistrate declared. Cryeth stared at the small creature. The child looked up at her with eyes the color of Earth's sky, a planet Cryeth had seen only in databases before her fall. The girl's fear was palpable, but there was something else in her expression. Recognition, perhaps. The understanding that they were both victims of the same cruelty. I'm sorry, the child whispered in broken galactic standard. They said if I let you eat me, the others would get food. Something ancient and primal snapped inside Cryeth's chest. Not rage, she had lived with rage for 2 cycles. This was different. This was purpose. She had been a guardian once. Before the false accusations, before the trial that was just theater, she had taken an oath to protect the innocent. The Council had made her break many things. They would not make her break this. Cryeth moved with speed that belied her size, all 4 arms sweeping the child up and tucking her against her chest, beneath the armored plating where her secondary heart thrummed. The girl gasped, then fell silent, perhaps too shocked to be afraid. Kill it, someone screamed from above. Fulfill your nature, beast. Cryeth looked up at them, all of them. The magistrate, the Council representatives, the citizens who had come to watch suffering as entertainment. She had been silent for 2 cycles. Now she spoke, her voice resonating like a war drum. No. The word hung in the air, defiant and absolute, energy weapons charged. You defy the Council's judgment? I defy your cowardice, Cryeth growled. The child's small hands clutched at her scales, and she felt the tiny heartbeat against her hide. So fragile, so fierce to still be beating after everything. You call me beast. You throw innocents to die. Which of us is the monster? She's protecting me, the girl whispered, wonder in her voice. The magistrate's face twisted. Open fire. Kill them both. But someone else spoke first. A human voice, amplified and furious. Cease fire. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Vessel Indomitable. We've been monitoring this facility for 3 weeks. Every atrocity, every illegal execution. We've transmitted it all to the neutral systems. Fire one shot and humanity shares everything. The crowd erupted in chaos. The humans were supposed to be helpless, controllable. Not this. We're coming for our child, Captain Chen continued, and for anyone else you've thrown away. Kraeth felt something she hadn't felt in cycles. Hope. The child looked up at her, tears cutting tracks through the dirt on her face, and smiled. Not with fear, with trust. When the humans breached the facility an hour later, they found Kraeth sitting calmly, still cradling the child. Captain Chen approached slowly, weapon lowered. "Thank you," she said simply. "For being better than them," Kraeth rumbled, a sound that might have been laughter. "Your species is either very brave or very foolish to make enemies of the Council for one child." Captain Chen's smile was steel. "We don't leave our people behind. And we don't abandon our friends." She extended a hand. "Earth offers asylum." "Both of you," the child stirred. "Can she come, really?" "If she wants to." Kraeth looked at the offered hand, small, 5-fingered, fragile in appearance only. She thought of the oath she'd once taken. To protect the innocent, to stand against darkness. Perhaps she could be a guardian again after all. She took the human's hand with one massive claw, carefully, and stood. "Then I accept." End.